Hey everybody, Aaron Blaise here and welcome to a new episode of Aaron's Art Tips. Lately I've been doing a lot of animation and I've been using some software called TVPaint. It's something that's installed on my Mac and I actually animate. The hardware I use is a Wacom Cintiq 24 HD. It's a big screen that I can draw and paint right on. But the software is this TVPaint. And I'm actually coming to like it almost as much, if not maybe a little better than animating on paper, purely for the ease that I'm finding with being able to create animation quickly, get sound on it, and output a movie. It's really great. And so what I thought I would do today is take a little bit of time and just give you kind of a quick start video. I'm still learning it myself, but I thought, you know what, I've learned enough to create some movies, and there's been some interest out there from you guys in me showing you, just a quick tutorial in using the software. So I thought I would do that. So why don't we go ahead and get started? First of all, the TVPaint is it's made by a company in France, and when you order it, you get a CD, and you install the CD, and you've also got a dongle. It will not work without the dongle. I've got that. Let's see right here. This is the dongle, and you have to have that along with the installation that you saw of the software. Once that's in, you're ready to go. And if you look down at the bottom here, you can see I've got the little TVPaint icon. So let's just go ahead and click on it. And we're going to go ahead and get started. I thought we'd do just a very quick dialogue scene so I could show you how I import sound, and we'll just go over it very quickly. There we go. So this is what comes up when you first open your scene. What you've got down at the bottom here is the timeline. This is basically, you can see 1, 3, 5, 7. Each one of those is a frame of film. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that's your frame, your frames that go through. If you see, there's a little Z right here. I can compress or expand. If I hold that down and then move my mouse, you can see it compresses it, or I can expand it. So if I have a very short scene, I can fit it in here. If I have a very long scene, I can compress it all down. What it automatically does, it automatically gives me a drawing to go ahead and start, and it puts it on a level here. Today, I want to go ahead and animate some dialogue. So I've pre-recorded a little piece of dialogue where I just say, "Stop it." So, I wanted something to have some hard consonants in there. And so I thought, why don't we go ahead and pull some sound in. I'll show you how we do that. So I'm going to move this. You can actually change the screen. Look, see, I can move this around. I can move this around. And look, what this is right here, this is kind of cool. This is what's being revealed here is that when we actually load the sound, I can write in here. I can write, notes, just like so. So if I have some dialogue that says "stop it," I can actually write, matching up with the frames, "stop it," if I want to do that, if I so choose. But let's go ahead and load the sound first, and I'll show you, how we can write that in. So I'm just it's very simple. Just go ahead and hit load sound, and it's going to give me a choice. I'm going to go to my desktop, which is where I have it, and you can see I've got "stop it," click on it, load. Boom, it's done. That's it. It's already loaded. There it is.
Stop it.
See that?
Stop it.
And I'm just going to go ahead and add, let's just pull this out just for the length. So it'll only play, when I just tried to play it, it only was playing that one frame. So it needs to play, I need to have that many frames taken up. So you can see what I did was I dragged it. And let's just go ahead and cover that real quick. You can see there's little squares here on the frame indicator. I just grab that little square, and that enables me to drag out the length that this drawing is being held for. So this drawing is actually being held for 45 frames. All right, that's how long the shot is with that dialogue. So now if I play it,
Stop it.
it'll loop.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
And one of the other cool things is, like I was saying, with this area up here to write in, I know this is S, so I can write S here and do a little line there that indicates the S going for the whole way.
Stop, 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 stop.
T,
Stop,
A,
stop, stop, stop.
O,
Stop, stop, up, 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 up,
P right in here. O goes through there.
up. Stop it, bit, bit,
It,
bit, 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 bit.
T. And that I kind of goes down.
Stop it.
See that? So if you
Stop
choose
it.
to do that, you have that ability to go ahead and write right up there in that little bit of dialogue.
Stop it.
I actually tend to just go according to the waveform.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
All right, so that we've got that dialogue laid in there. Let's go ahead and pick a drawing utensil that we want to use. So I'm just going to drag this down, give ourselves a little more room. There's another thing you can do. Some of your hotkeys, if you want to if you want your drawing to take up the whole screen so you have more drawing room, all you have to do is hit the 0 key. And look at that, it brings it right up and you can draw to your heart's content. Hit 0 key again and it goes back and gives you all of your tools, okay? But I'm going to come over here, I'm jumping over to the left side, and you can see over here I've got a set of tools. This is what I use exclusively. There, if you come over here, there's a menu that comes out on this side and there's a whole bunch of different pencils, paint brushes, chalks, different types of drawing tools to give you very artistic looking. You can just really experiment. You can have a lot of fun, and like I said, it looks like pastel, it looks like charcoal, different types of pencils. You can have fun with that. I tend to use these tools over here just because it's a little bit more convenient for me. And today I'm just going to grab the pencil. And right here is your color, just like in Photoshop. If you're familiar with Photoshop, you can just grab a color down here. That's where I'm going to set the cursor down for a nice dark kind of black. And then come over here. Actually, I'm going to set everything over here. This is what's really cool is on your for the pencil, I can play with the size in pixels. I can play with the power, which is the opacity. All kinds of different things in here. So you can play with those adjustments. But if I come over here and start drawing, you can see it's got a very natural look to it. The harder I press, the darker it gets. Just like working in Photoshop, working on a Cintiq, that sort of thing. The great thing about this, you don't like the drawing, you come up to the top on the upper left, you can see there's a little skull and crossbones. Click on that and the drawing's gone. So today I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to knock the opacity down just a touch, knock the power down a little bit, and I want to start, let's just draw a real simple guy. He's going to be saying stop it. So let's just start with having him turned. And let's go ahead and press that 0 button. There we go. So we'll just put him here. And he's a little angry, starting out. Maybe he's a little surprised, and then we'll get him angry for the stop it. So let's just get his eyes. There we go. Just something very quick, something very simple that we can animate very quickly. All right, I'm not even going to worry about a body. So we've got this quick drawing laid in. So we've got our first drawing. And actually, let's pull this back. We'll pull him back into here. So we've got this first drawing that we've created. All right. So there's drawing number 1. Now we want to create a new drawing. Well, all we have to do is move the cursor over to here, like so. Or if you want to do a key, you can move it later. let's move it. Let's hold this drawing for, let's say 10 frames. So this is where we want our next drawing. All we have to do is move our cursor like this, up our slider. Move the slider to the frame where you want a new drawing, and then remember those skull and crossbones. Click on that, and boom, I've got a new drawing right there. And the previous drawing is being held. So you see the drawing, and then it goes blank because I have a new drawing. Now what's interesting is that I can turn on my light table, and it'll create onion skin, so I can see the drawing before and the drawing after. So if I turn it on right here, you'll see on this level there's a little light bulb, and I go and click it, and there's the drawing. That's the previous drawing. All right, so I know where my drawing is coming from. That way, it's like flipping in traditional animation. Now, if I come up here and match, see the little light bulb down on this layer? If I come up to the light bulb up top and click on that, this shows me how many drawings back I'm showing and how many drawings forward. Right now, I don't have the drawings forward turned on, so I'm going to turn that on. Right now, the 0 obviously is the drawing that you're at. And then right now I've got indicating one drawing behind, which is the drawing we're looking at. I'm going to go ahead and leave this on. Let's go ahead and do another drawing. So I want him to kind of squash. Let's go ahead and have him squash down. And so he anticipates. And actually, I'll show you a little cheat we can do. Let's go ahead and zero this out. Let's go ahead and trace it. Let's say you have trouble with volumes. You want to make sure his volume stays the same. Well, let's just trace that out. Then I can come up to here. You see this? And I can move over to panning. And now watch. I'm going to drop him down and just move this down. I want to kind of go into here. There we go. And I just come back and click on my pencil. Now I'm back to drawing. Now look. You see that? I'm able to kind of trace and move things around. So let's squash him out. Start to turn him a little bit. There we go. Bringing his face down. Actually, I'm going to drag it, and I want to erase. So watch this. Now, right now, I've got my stylus turned over, and I'm trying to erase. But look, it just draws. But if I stay on my stylus and come over here and see where it says color, if I click on color and come down to erase. Now my eraser is automatically programmed to erase. Very, very simple. And what I want is I want the power to be all the way up to 100%, opacity up to 100%. That way it erases completely. See that? I can also change the size. Let's move on the size up to 20. Now I have a much bigger eraser, and I can just come in and erase. But I come back to my drawing, the pointy end of the stylus, and look at that. It continues to draw. So that's how you program your eraser to work in TVPaint. So I wanted a little bit of drag to his face is what I wanted. And let's squash him down. And let's have him start to make that S shape. The S starts up here, but I want to anticipate it. So let's go ahead and have him just start to hit this hard, stop it, like so. Just like that. And let's close his eyes. I can flip back and forth. I'm using the arrow keys back and forth to flip. You see that? So right now I'm just doing my keys. Like so. Now I'm going to have him start to come back up through here. Hear that S? So let's put a new drawing here. I'm going to hit that skull and crossbones. Now, remember, we only had it set to see one drawing back. So that's all we're seeing. But if I click on this on the number 2 up here, watch. See, now we can see 2 drawings back. And so on. You can go back as far as 10 drawings, which is even better than flipping. If you're flipping in traditional animation, all you can do is you have 5 fingers. You can only see 5 drawings back. But with this, you can see as far as back as 10. I never use that many, but you can see it. And then when I jump in here, look, you can see that the next drawing ahead is in purple, and you can see it underneath that drawing. See that? So let's go ahead and start to bring him up. So So I want to start drawing. I'm going to start to stretch them. Let's start to stretch that head. Still have it drag a little. Change the shape of that nose. Still making the S. There we go. Like so. Maybe he starts to open his eyes. Let's pull those eyebrows up. And look at it, look at the line quality of this. I just really love it. I really love TV Paint. It feels very natural. So I'll start to open those eyes up a little. There we go. Drag that ear. So now you can slide. Right now I'm grabbing the slider. See that? This is the beauty. You can just slide up and down and listen to that dialogue. Let's hit that ah. And I like to hit the dialogue a little, like 2 frames early. Let's get it right here. Create a new drawing. Create a new drawing. There we go. So let's really open up his mouth now. Just open up that head, stretch it out. Open up that nose. There we go. Ah, making an ah sound. There, that. See that? I'm just hitting my arrow keys back and forth. You can see that animation. Let's really open those eyes up. There we go. Very quick. Get those eyebrows up. He's still angry, but he's got them way up in the air. See that? I'm gonna pull put a little bags under his eyes. Maybe that skin's getting pulled down. There we go. Very loose, very quick. See that? Let's hit that P. I'm gonna hit it a little early. Right there. Let's hit the P right there. Like I said, I like to hit my dialogue a frame or 2 early. So he's slowing in. Let's have him slow up here a little bit. I'm going to squash him out because he's going from the ah to the P, so he's a compressed mouth. So let's compress the head a little bit. See that? Bring the mouth up. Now closed mouth. Up, up, up. Push those cheeks up. You know, as his mouth closes, the cheeks are coming up. I'm going to bring those eyebrows up still, like in here somewhere. The eyes continue up, like so. So as we drag,
Stop it. Stop us. Stop us. Stop us. Stop us.
you see that? You can see him saying stop. Very quick. Look how quickly we're getting this done. This is what I love about TV Paint. I really love, and it's very user friendly. You know, and you know, if you don't have to have a Cintiq, you can do this with your tablet. If you work with, say, an Intuos Pro, and it works great. You can work on your laptop. Okay, so there's stop.
Stop it. Stop it.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Now I'm going to jump ahead to where I want his last pose to be. Let's put it in here because I want to in between into it. So I want his last pose to be somewhere, let's say in here.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Let's move it over. See that? I can just grab the squares and move things around. Now I can extend the number of frames for that drawing by grabbing that square up top, or I can move the number of frames of the previous drawing by grabbing the square down on the bottom. I can extend the length. So each square does something different. It's a lot of fun. So let's get him to settle on that frame. And I'm going to bring his head down. Just down a little bit, like so. Bring his nose down. Let's bring those eyebrows down. There we go. He's really mad. Stop it! That's what I used to say to my brother all the time. Stop it! When he would annoy me. There we go. And with that stop it, that mouth is going to be a little loose. So let's just open it up a little bit. We'll see a little bit of air between the teeth. Get those ears up here. Just very quickly, throw a chin in. There. So let's move it on the timeline.
Stop it.
So let's do the it. So let's do an in-between. So now, I'm going to go ahead and let's hit the I sound. Let's put it right here. We can always move stuff around if we want. This one's a little bit, I'm going to move it back a little bit. There we go. And let's move this back so it hits a little earlier. There we go. So let's go ahead and do that for it. So I'm going to in between now. So I'm looking at, I've got the drawing before marked in red, drawing after marked in purple. That way, and I can keep track. And if this gets a little confusing, you see, we've got a lot of drawings that are showing up equally. I can either lighten up, I can lighten up the drawing further back, like so. I have the ability to move that slider, or I can just turn it off altogether. So I'm just in betweening the two. And I think what I'd like to do, I'm going to get rid of that. I want it to kind of arc over a little bit. So I'm going to bring that head up a little higher. Like so. That way, the movement is a little, the movement's a little more smooth. So let's bring this down. We're going to open the mouth a little bit. Now the it is not as big as ah for the stop, but it's still going to be open. So let's just bring that open like that. Pull the nose a little bit and just like so. There we go. Get his teeth in there. There's his tongue. Color that in. Let's pull those eyebrows. I'm going to keep the eyebrows up. There we go. And finish out those eyes. So what's great about this is that, I'm focusing on drawing. Oh, and the other thing too that I've been doing the whole time, that, I've been drawing in this mode, but I can click on this on the 0. One thing I forgot to show you again. I mean, I showed you earlier, but didn't show it in practice. So I can draw really big, like so. It's very, very cool. Go back to that 0. Whoops. So you can see what happened, what I just did. My cursor, the slider, was on a different frame when I started to draw, and as soon as I started to draw, it created a new drawing. I don't want that, so I'm just going to slide this back over like so, and now I'm back to normal.
Stop it.
So now we just have a very quick pose test. Let me go ahead and play it. Let's see what it looks like.
Stop it. Stop it.
See that?
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Let's go ahead and break it down a little
Stop
bit.
it.
So once again, I'm going to come around over here. Let's throw a breakdown right in here. I'm going to go ahead and hit my skull and crossbones very quickly. I'm going to fly through this. Like so. Look at that, where that nose is. So again, he's getting ready. He's anticipating the dialogue, so he's coming down. Building up that hard S. Starting to close his eyes. He looks a little drunk. There we go. So now we're going to bring him up.
Stop.
Let's get him. I'm going to put that on 3s, meaning I'm holding it for 3 frames. You can see the numbers right here, 6, 4, 7, 3, 3. That's the number of frames that drawing is held for. So all I'm doing is I just slide my slider to where I want to put a new drawing, hit that skull and crossbones, got a new drawing, boom, right in the middle. Because that was, if I go back, see, that was held for 6. I got the slider in the middle, skull and crossbones, new drawing. Now they're each held for 3. So let's get the in between in here. I'm going to favor the drawing after. And he's still making that S sound very quickly. There we go. Still making that S sound, but I'm going to have the eyes start to open up first. So let's go ahead and start to bring those up. Now cheeks. He hasn't really opened his mouth yet, so there's still a little bit of cheek line under here. There we go.
Stop it. Stop.
That's in between that. So I want to put a new drawing right here. Hit the skull and crossbones, boom, got a new drawing. And we're just going to in between right into that. There's the red, meaning the drawing before, violet in the background, the drawing after. I'm going to keep that mouth open, although it's a little softer, the ah. I go back and
Stop
forth.
it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop.
There we go. Bring those ears up, or bring the ear up. There we go. You can see the nose in between there. Now the mouth, I still want it to be open, but not as hard. Like so. There we go. Bring those eyebrows up. I want to favor the eyebrows on the second drawing, the purple drawing. There we go. I really love this because it really enables you, even almost better than flipping, to see where you're going and where you're coming from as far as where your drawings were. Very quick drawing there.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Let's move that a little later just to experiment.
Stop it. Stop it.
So if we play it at speed,
Stop it. Stop it.
see that?
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
So that's pretty cool. Now let's say you want to move something. So just to review, that you can drag by hitting the load sound at the top. You can bring in an MP3 file or MP4. It'll work with an MP4 as well. You can drag in anything like that. Let's say we want to do a background as well. So let's jump over here. I'm gonna slide this up just so we can see this a little better. And I want to create new right here. Click on new. And what it's going to do, it's going to give me some options. So we're going to create a new layer, but I want to create a background. I don't want to create an animation layer. So the background obviously is going to be below the current layer because my current layer is animation. So I want my background to be under the current layer. Now the type, you look over here, and right now it's animation. I don't want animation. I want a static image. Okay, that's going to be my background. So now we've got that. Now you can either create a background, you can draw and paint right in TVPaint, or you can import a background. If I were just to go ahead and hit OK, what it's going to do, it actually gives me the background wherever I leave my slider. So let's pull this back. There we go. And pull that back. And it'll automatically, even though it's only there for one frame, it'll automatically hold throughout. So let's say I'm going to just draw something very quickly. We've got a little swirly swirls like so. Now if I play,
Stop it.
you can see that holds all the way through, and you can do whatever you want within your background.
Stop it.
Okay? Let's say we don't want that. So I'm going to come over here. I want to get rid of this. So I'm going to go to, and this is in case you want to delete any other layers. Just click on that little triangle, go to delete layer, and confirm, and now we're back to just our animation layer. Now let's say we want to bring in a background. So once again, we'll hit new, under the current layer, just like we set up, a static image as a background. But now we hit import. And what I've done is I've gone ahead already and I've gone into Photoshop and just created a very quick background, and I saved it as a JPEG. Now it's very important to make sure that you save it at the same aspect ratio. So the image that we're animating right now is 1080 by 1920. So I'm doing the same thing with my background here. I made sure that it was 1080 pixels by 1920 pixels. I'm going to go ahead and click on it, and let's just hit load. And then it'll give me a quick preview, and then I go, okay, I like it. Let's go ahead and hit import, and boom, there it is. So now we've got this gray background with some little swirlies on there, and if I hit play,
Stop it.
He's working within that.
Stop it.
With that background.
Stop it.
Now,
Stop it.
let's say I'm going to jump ahead real quick. Let's go back to our animation layer. So all you do, if you want to jump between layers, you just click on them. See that? So whenever it gets highlighted, that's the layer you're working in. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the onion skin, the light box, and I'm just going to play it again.
Stop it. Stop it.
Now, that last drawing, let's just jump
Stop
ahead
it.
to the last drawing.
Bit.
Let's say this, we feel like this, I feel like this last drawing is a little bit
Stop it.
small because I want him to feel like
Stop
he's
it.
coming forward. Let's say we want to make him a little bigger. So we bring the slider
Stop it.
to that drawing, and then let's come up here. Remember we had the panning? Well, we can go slide down and we can go to transform. Now watch this. I'm going to hold the shift key and I can enlarge just that drawing, and I hit return and it'll turn green again. Now
Stop it.
I've got a larger drawing, and if I want to go back to animating. Now that drawing is enlarged. Very simple. Back in the old days with traditional animation, we had to go to the Xerox machine. Here, you can just do it right away. Let's say we feel like the whole thing is either too large or too big. What you can do is put your cursor underneath the entire layer like this and slide just like that. Now we come to back up to our transform, and let's say we want to enlarge everything and move it and then hit return. Now what's happened is the entire thing, everything has been enlarged. You see that? And moved. Okay? Now, let's say, once again, we want to flop it. So we've highlighted everything. We come up to Image, Modify, and you've got these choices right here. Let's flip it horizontally. Boom! We've just flopped our layer. Come back to our pencil and play it. Let's bring it down.
Stop it.
And now we've got a flopped layer.
Stop it.
So
Stop
it gives you, TVPaint gives you a lot of options to play with. You can adjust, you can move things around. Let's say we want to double up some drawings. Let's say I want the same maybe you're doing a cycle and you want to repeat. Let's pretend this was a cycle. We can just highlight everything, and just like you hit your hotkeys, Command C, we've copied. Move your cursor, Command V, boom. You've just copied and pasted a whole bunch of drawings, and so when we play it,
Stop it.
it'll actually play it twice, but it's,
Stop it.
you can see there. So I'm going to go ahead and Command Z, and it brings us back to where we were. Now, let's get him to stand out a little better. So if, let's say you want to paint your layer, you want to give him some color, well, we're going to create a new layer under the current layer. Once again, it's under the animation because we want the drawings to be on top. This time we want it to be an animation layer because we want the paint to move with the animation. And we hit OK. Actually, once again, I had my slider in the wrong place. Let's move that slider back. We'll move this back to here. That first drawing is going to be right here. Let's pick a color. Something in there, a little brighter. Okay, now, let's go ahead and increase the size of our pencil. There we go. And now I'm going to increase it a little more, just because I want to do this very quickly. And even more. And we can just come in very quickly, paint them in. Now I'm going to go through and paint the eyes separately. Jump to the next one, and let's zero it out just by hitting those skull and crossbones, just like we did with our drawing. And I'm just coming in. Now another way you can do it, you can fill. If you want to just fill in if you have nice clean drawings, you can use your bucket tool up here, just like in Photoshop, and touch it, and you can fill the drawings. I like to do it this way. That's my choice. There we go. And you can see it's got a nice feel to it. This is the way I do it. Now, once again, there might be some TVPaint experts out there that are saying, man, that guy's doing it all wrong. Like I said, I'm just learning as I go. And this is meant to be a very quick start for you guys. So if you find a better way of doing it, please share it. I'm discovering new stuff every day. I found it. The one thing I have found with TVPaint is that it's been a little bit difficult to find information on how to do this or that or whatever. So I am finding little bits here and there, and they do have a website that's great for you can get the information you need, but you need to dig really hard. So it's a little difficult sometimes. So what I do is I go into some of the forums where they're talking about different questions that people have, and you can find information there. But really, the best way to get information, the best way to figure things out is just by doing. I just recently animated a little animated short with an elephant called Cyrano, and through doing that, I really discovered a lot of different things. And so it's really just getting in there and exploring the software and seeing what coming against some problems and just figuring out the solutions for those problems. Once you start getting the hang of it, you'll find that TV Paint is pretty intuitive. If you're an experienced animator, they've really they've built it for us. It really feels it really hasn't taken me long to adapt. And if you're just learning animation, it's a great tool to learn with. It's very similar, I think, to working traditionally. But like I said, I almost like it better because of the speed. I mean, here we are, we've animated something very quick. We don't have all the in-betweens, but we've animated something very quick. And look at us, we're painting. And I'm just going to quickly bring this in. There we go. Now let's jump back to the beginning. Change our color to white. And let's color in his eyes and his tooths. Let's go back here. That tooth. I'm gonna make the pencil a little smaller. There we go. That way I'm not going over the line so much. There we go. Eyes. Very quick. You can see how fast, if you wanted to do a little short on your own, you could rather quickly create something, full color. You can create your backgrounds in Photoshop, or you can create your backgrounds right in TV Paint. I just love it. I absolutely love it. So you can see very quickly we've got a little painted character. Now if I play it,
Stop it.
You can see
Stop it.
very quickly
Stop it.
we just created this
Stop
little
it.
piece of dialogue.
Stop
So
it.
that's
Stop it.
so that in a nutshell is a very quick start way to get going in TV Paint. You can bring in sound. I just recommend if you're brand new to it, go ahead and grab it, get started on it, and just really explore. That's how I've been learning. I've really enjoyed it. There's always somebody, if you're on social media, throw a question out there. If you're in the animation realm, there's always somebody out there that has worked in TV Paint that'll have an answer for you. That's how I've solved a few questions, or like I said, just exploring. So anyway, that's the quick start for TV Paint. I hope you've gotten something out of it. Enjoy animating. Bye.